Welcome back. It is Status Soccer. We're here for another tier ranker. If you guys are plugged into this channel, then you know we did League 2, League 1 Championship, all with EFL Girl, who's here again. And today we're doing the Premier League crest, long overdue. EFL Girl, how's it going?
Yeah, great, thank you. Busy start to the season, but all good. How are you?
Yeah. So you're doing your typical away days with Plymouth, and how's that this year in the championship, right? Like how's that going?
Yeah, exactly. So we've dropped League One now, and we're doing the first season back in the Championship. So it's a complete whirlwind change from last season. We've gone from playing Fleetwood, Burton Albion, Forest Green Rovers away to
that was a bad Forest Green was a bad crest. Yeah, I remember that one.
It was. They, to be fair to them, I'm vegetarian, so I liked the food at the stadium because they're vegan. But other than that, yeah guys, onwards and upwards for us.
Yeah, well, you're at the championship level now, which is exciting. Now we're one tier ahead in the Premier League for today for the crests. But guys, check out EFL Girls content if you haven't already. I'll link it in the description below. And just like League 2, League 1 Championship, EFL Girl, we're going to go forward, and it's your classic. Now we're in the Premier League, so Champions League, Europa League, in the hunt, mid-table, danger zone, and then relegation status, right? So this is going to be an exciting one. And guys, this is all based off of the crest. So whatever crest we like, it has nothing to do with the history of these clubs, how they're playing so far in the Premier League season, just all based off of the colors, the crest, the design. With that, let's get started. EFL Girl, you pick the first team. Who should we dive into?
Let's go with the first. Let's go left to right. Start with Bournemouth. I am going to go straight in and relegate them.
Whoa, relegate Bournemouth. Now, I think we might have. They were on the verge of relegation, I think, in our previous episodes. Did we?
Yeah, we've. I think we might have done. We'll have to look back. I remember saying something about the long hair and probably it looking like a women's football team rather than a men's football team.
Yeah, and it is someone heading the ball, correct? Is that what we're looking at here?
I believe so.
Okay, it's early on, but I'm okay with relegation status, so let's do that for now. But just like, remember at the end of the other episodes, so to clarify, the very end, you get to move 3 different crests, and I move 3 different crests. So we can kind of reconvene at the end and say, maybe Aston Villa doesn't deserve to be here. They deserve to be here. And I can do that 3 times. You can do that 3 times. Okay. So we might have to revisit that one. Let's go with Arsenal. I like Arsenal's crest. I like the cannon. It's classic. I'm trying not to think of like Arsenal on the field or Arteta, who I'm a fan of. I don't know who doesn't like Arteta, even if you dislike the team. Great manager. It's classic crest, and it's tough too because some of these it's hard to get past the brand recognition, and you have a respect for some of these crests just because of how big the clubs are. But we really have to break it down by the looks of it. So Cannon is cool to the history of Arsenal, and I think their previous location in the city and that relationship with like manufacturing weaponry, the colors, red, white, and blue. I'm a fan. I'm also American, so I'm a little biased. And I like the little brown in there. I want to put it in the hunt for now. That might move later, but we're gonna go in the hunt.
Okay. Fair positioning. I do think it needs a bit of an update, in my opinion. I don't really like the blue going along the sides.
But... Yeah. So would you have put it in Europa League status?
No, not that high.
Okay. All right, Aston Villa, take it away.
I don't love it. I don't hate it. I don't really feel anything towards it. I think that little star I think it might represent the one European trophy that they've ever won, which is quite cool. Yeah, it's a nice little touch. But I would put it mid.
See,
it's just a mid badge.
I would have put this in the Europa League. I love this badge. I love
the color. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
In past one that's overrun.
Past episodes, we've had some discussions. We've I think that me and you like oftentimes don't see eye to eye when it comes to these badges because it's different colors. You like different colors I like, so this is one I think for sure. that blue, maroon, and yellow, I think really stands out. Plus, I think it's a lion, but Brentford Football Club, the Bees. I think, what was it, 1887? I can't quite see there. But the founding of the club, Brentford. What else about them? Like West London Club. I don't know. I'm just gonna say this one's in the hunt because I do like the bee and I like the colors, and I do have an appreciation for like a circular badge for whatever reason. It's just simple and clean.
Yeah, and I think they do the circular badge quite well.
Yeah.
The bee's very overpowering, and as someone who lives in Manchester, where our symbol of the city is a bee, I kind of think, oh God, okay, but yeah, that's a fair placing.
Okay. All right, you're up. Brighton, Hove, Albion.
Brighton and Hove. I absolutely despise seagulls. I actually have one of my best friends is so afraid of seagulls that it's the funniest thing. And when you're down in Plymouth, we literally have a ton of them. And yeah, it's funny, but I hate them. The amount of run-ins I've had with seagulls, getting my food, attacking me, just coming out of nowhere, shitting on my dad's head when I'm about to go on a coach. For that reason, I really dislike this badge. Also, doesn't it look kind of like the Hollister logo in a weird way?
I've never seen that before, but I kind of hate that you brought that up. And I was going to put it in Europa League, but I would dock it now because of the Hollister. Yeah, I agree with that.
So I would probably put it in danger zone, to be honest.
That's tough. It's your decision. I might have to correct that later on.
I feel like you're going to just veto all of mine.
Do you think this is stupid? But I don't know, dad joke central over here. But maybe the Pilgrims were actually just leaving. Plymouth. When I was in America, I think of Plymouth. Maybe they were just trying to escape the seagulls all along.
You know what? Maybe we were.
Then they get to Boston or Massachusetts, and they're like, oh crap, they're here too.
This is the problem. They're just rats of the sky. You can't escape them.
It's a good way to put it. The rats of the sky. All right. Should we mix it up a little bit and not let's mix it up. I'm gonna be less predictable here. I'm gonna bring in one that I just don't like, which is Luton Town. Amateur design. I don't really care. Like, they can come at me for this. I just think that Luton Town, for whatever reason, it's just looking at the crest. Is that a hat on the top?
Yeah, because they're the Hatters.
Oh, they're the Hatters. Okay, that's right. I mean,
you said it all though. Amateur badge, amateur club.
Well, we can't.
Amateur stadium.
I know, but we can't factor all this in. It is an amateur stadium too. I think that it was cool at first, but now I'm getting sick of hearing about the stadium. I don't really care. And I actually think the character of the stadium, unfortunately, with the move to the Premier League, they've made some changes. Like those row homes in the stadium, I don't even know if you can see them anymore. Whereas before, they've expanded the stadium in different ways, and they've kind of ruined the stadium. That's separate to the badge. But yeah, the Hatters. I think the Luton Town script is just amateur. Yeah, they need to update this badge, especially if they consider themselves a Premier League team right now. So I'm gonna honestly relegate the shit out of them. Let's just get that.
That's probably what will happen to them this season, to be honest. I think if they got rid of the words around it, wouldn't it actually be so bad? I kind of like that they're the Hatters and they've got a hat on it. It's quite traditional, but it's just
it's almost
all together.
Take the words out. And the crest by itself, it doesn't give me a Premier League vibe or even a Championship vibe, but it looks like League One or League Two level. It's very similar to Forest Green or the design, 1997 Photoshop or something. I don't know.
They're basically projecting through their badge the fact that they're a lower league club. So that's what they want. Let them have it.
Let them have it. Although they almost beat Liverpool a couple weeks back. That was crazy. But go ahead.
True. I'm going to pick Nottingham Forest, and I'm going to put them in. I'm going to put them in the Champions League.
Yes, this is such a great badge.
It's like so retro, but it's so unique. They're Notts Forest. It's a tree. It's brilliant.
I also just like love the 2 stars for the 2 Champions League titles, Champions Cup, whatever it was called back then. I don't know. There's something also about just like their kit, and I think of like the retro Adidas or Adidas jerseys, right? So like,
yeah,
let's put them up in the Champions League. I totally agree with that.
Nice.
All right, let's do Liverpool because we just mentioned them a little while back with Luton Town. I love this badge. Although I need to get away from like who Liverpool is and their history and the brand recognition. So when you take that away and you really just break down the badge, I still think it's cool because of, you'll never walk alone. Like the gates, I believe that might be the Shankly gates. They're alluding to that. The establishment in the club, the Merseyside, logo, the bird. So the bird.
Yeah, the Liver bird.
Liva Bird, which is right in the center of town. To me, it's a Champions League badge just because of the history that's wrapped up within the badge itself, which I think is really cool, personally.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree.
Lasts the test of time.
Okay. I am going to go with Spurs next.
Ooh.
And I'm going to put them in the danger zone.
In the danger zone? Why is that?
Yes. I'm taking my bias aside because I've actually got a bit of a soft spot for Spurs this season because Big Ange came down from Celtic and had such a start to his Premier League career. What a guy. But it's a shame that he has to wear this crest on his jacket every week. It's I don't know. It's unique, but it's so skinny. It just, like, in my opinion, it's just so underwhelming. It just doesn't work. Just boring Spurs, isn't it?
I know what you mean by it, but I do like the classic football on the kit in a way. And it's unique. I would have probably put them in the hunt or Europa League, if I'm being honest. So they might
still move them around.
I'll go first with the 3, so then you can veto anything that I do. How about that?
Okay.
You're the guest of the channel, so I'll give you the veto options.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see here. I'm gonna do Wolves. Their badge is always just kind of strange to me. I don't know if I'm like a huge fan of it. I just think it's almost like Marvel-esque, which is cool, I guess. But is it a football badge? Is it a soccer badge? Like I like to say, I don't know. I guess it is. It has to be, right? It's a Premier League badge, but I'm going to put them in the danger zone, which is, I think, is probably a little aggressive.
No, I would agree with you. I probably might even have relegated them myself.
It's just a strange badge. Yeah.
It's too basic. I mean, you look at it and you think, oh, Wolves, the colours are cool, black and they're kind of gold. But other than that, I could have put it together myself in PowerPoint. It's too basic.
Right,
okay. Next, I am picking up West Ham and I'm putting them.
I knew you were.
I'm going to be bold here because we don't have many spots left, but I would like to put them in the Champions League also.
Yeah, we need to start paying attention to the spots. We're just kind of throwing them around. So Champions League, that we have one more spot left for Champions League. We have no one occupying Europa League. In the hunt, we have 2 more, right? 8, 9, 10. No, 3 more. So yeah, just we'll have to start paying attention. But what puts them in Champions League? I kind of cut you off there.
Yeah, colours, the Hammers. They're the Hammers. It's iconic badge in my opinion.
Yeah. The colors, actually, I agree with you on this one, surprisingly. Although the colors are the same as Aston Villa, so they're just reversed.
But this is why West Ham are in
they're the exact same. Hold
Aston Villa are mid because they've done the right thing with the colors that are given to them.
So you don't like the blue being like the focal point of Villa, whereas in West Ham it's more on the peripheral.
You'll find this visually. I don't really like a light blue in football. Like we've not come to Manchester City yet, but
Why? What about the light blue? It's just
I don't know. It just I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. It just feels a bit too, I don't know, girly for a men's football team.
okay.
I don't know what it is. Just don't like it.
So Newcastle has that. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm gonna go with a blue badge though. I'm gonna do Everton. Just so one thing about Everton, which I do like, that's like the Everton lock. I think it's the Everton lockout. I think it's called, or I forget what it is exactly. But that little tower is actually a drunk tank, which is pretty cool. So I visited that on my stadium or channel in the past, and did a little bit of an episode about that, the drunk tank there, which I think is cool. It's right in Everton, down the road from the stadium. I like the Latin on that. I don't really know what it says. I can't read it from here. This is a good badge. I think they're Europa League for this badge, personally. I'm not getting much of a rebuttal. Do you agree?
I'm trying to look at what else we've got around. I would say they're probably around. I would probably put them in the hunt, but I think we might have been a bit too harsh on Arsenal and Brentford there. So
we came out of the gates pretty hard on these clubs. Whoever gets picked by us first, usually, they get the benefit of like everything being available, but we come in pretty aggressive, pretty hot.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This is hard because there's some good badges left. I might potentially add Burnley to the relegation zone.
It looks like it's like a Lego bat. Like, I don't know. Like it's.
Yes, exactly. It looks very Pac-Man.
Yeah, Pac-Man. That's a better way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah, let's relegate them. They kind of annoy me a little bit too with I think it's JJ Watt, like the American footballer who's gotten involved with them. And now he's pretending like he knows Premier League football and he's part of the ownership group. And that's just like an American.
Yeah, aren't there owners like Mormons or something from the US?
I don't even know like if there's any religious affiliation with them. I just think their badge kind of sucks.
It's a shame, really, because I don't mind Burnley. I mean, I used to live down the road from Burnley, and I went to Turf Moor last season. And to be fair, it was amazing. Atmosphere was great. The view from the stadium is unbelievable. I quite like Vincent Kompany. I wanted them to do well in the Premiership, going back up this season, but it's just not working out. Maybe they need a badge redesign.
That would definitely do it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if we were ranking stadiums here, then they could be up in the Europa League or Champions League with Turf Moor too. Good point. So, all right, I'm gonna leave Man City for you because you seem to have some sort of opinion on Man City that I don't want to like take the spotlight on that one. But we're gonna go with Manchester United, the other Manchester team. It is a classic badge. It's really hard to separate from like brand. I do feel like there's just certain badges here. They just pop because you're so, used to seeing the team doing well or just being on like the global stage. And there's like a prestige surrounding the club. So there's a prestige surrounding the badge. But if we break down the badge, the red and the yellow, I don't think optically, like I would pick these colors personally. They're a little harsh in general, I think. I do like the two footballs. I do like the trident. I like the Manchester ship, right? There was some sort of story behind that, which I can't remember. But the ship on the badge, it's pretty cool.
I should know this living in Manchester right now, but there is a big shipping canal here. And I think Manchester always claimed that something over Liverpool, that they, I don't know, had the bigger canal or...
Or is it shipping manufacturing, like something with the ships with manufacturing?
Yeah, exactly. It was way back, but there's some kind of thing that's synonymous with Manchester and it's shipping the canal. So,
but they don't have is it the Lancashire Rose? Is that what we're looking at? Did I get this right?
Yes, you've learned. Yes,
they don't have the rose like Man City does. I like Man City's crest better, but I'm leaving that up to you.
Interesting.
I also don't know if necessarily because the Champions League picks we have and looking at Everton in the Europa League probably shouldn't be there now because I would put United in Europa League. I'm going to put them in the hunt because I don't really want to throw them in the Champions League right now.
I think that's quite harsh. I think they deserve to be a bit higher than that. It's an iconic badge. Minus the fact that the devil, when you actually zoom into his face, looks a little bit off-putting. It's like he's got 3 giant holes in his head. I think, to be fair to them, yeah, I don't really like Man United, but I like their badge. But
okay, that's fair.
They may move later on. We'll see.
Should you do City next, since we're just talking Manchester?
Yeah, sure. So let's go with Man City, and I will put them in the mid zone.
Mid, okay. I think that's
which you're probably going to very heavily disagree with.
Yeah,
they can't go above Man United on crest, in my opinion.
Did City redesign their badge at some point, or has that just been their
badge? And I think they did. And as an Argyle fan, I believe we may be one of, if not the only teams outside of Man City with like a ship in our badge. And I must admit, like, when I first saw the Man City badge, I thought, oh, it looks like an Argyle badge. Obviously, that's my own bias coming in. The light blue and the red Lancashire rose, I get the symbols behind it, but just altogether, colour-wise, it just does not work for me. Okay. And the Manchester City just looks so basic around the side. Just a no. It's just a mid badge.
We're gonna revisit this in the end of the I'm gonna go with Crystal Palace next. So actually, that's a stadium I've been to, Selhurst Park, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
In the Croydon area of London. That's for anyone out there who thinks, as an American, I'm making an effort here to learn this stuff, right? So there's the football, the Palace. I think actually dates back to the old Crystal Palace, which was part of the World's Fair exhibitions, I believe, which is pretty cool. No longer there. That's cool in South London. The bird's
not to scale.
The bird's not to scale at all. That's a good point. The bird was to scale. It could be higher. I hate that you just pointed that out. So in the hunt, we got 6, 7. Right now we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 2 more in the hunt. 11, 12. We have 2 more mids. We're done for danger zone, and we're done for relegated. Wow. Okay. I want to put Crystal Palace based off of who's left. I want to put them in the mid zone.
Okay.
I think there's good badges.
Yeah, there is. I quite like the Crystal Palace badge. I don't know. It's
your scale comment threw me off. I would have put it in the hunt, but the scale comment just like.
You know what? That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad point, no. I quite like that they've just made the bird fucking massive.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder if there's bird. I don't know if there's something with the bird either. If someone in the comments below can I never see Crystal Palace fans or supporters anywhere. Like in comments. Like they're passionate when I was at the match, for sure. Mm-hmm. They just might not have cell phones. Like I don't know if they're into social. I never see them like interacting with anybody.
They're all 82 years old.
Is that what it is? Like do all the young people just leave? Do all the young people just like flee away from like Croydon or South London and go elsewhere?
Well, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest area in my opinion, but and I mean, if you live in London, would you really support Crystal Palace over Arsenal, West Ham?
I just guess if it's
even if you're not that close to them, I don't know.
That's true. Why would you gravitate towards them? Yeah, I mean, but I guess if it's your childhood club, that your father or mother supported them, I would, but who knows?
Yeah, me too, which is fair enough. I much prefer that, but
yeah,
I don't know. Crystal Palace clearly have 5 fans.
They're going to be upset about that. I think that the average we should do average age of these fans. I think their average age is 82 years old. I think you're right.
I reckon they're 82-year-olds. They take their flask to the football. Typical flaskers.
Yeah.
Have a little pre-made cup of tea or bovril in their flask. They've got their regatta coat on, and they're 82 years old.
I mean, thinking back on it, there were a lot of old people in the stadium when I went. I'm gonna flash up a clip from when I was there. Yeah, and also the view was completely obstructed. Like I couldn't see half the field, which
Proper old stadium.
yeah, it's proper and it's old, and I did enjoy it. Like the burger looked disgusting, their food, but it was actually really good. And they were selling beer pre-match, which I think most clubs do, right? Pre and post, but they don't during the match. Is that how it works?
Yeah. So you can't drink it in the stadium during the game, but afterwards and before, it's a fair game.
Yeah.
Although, who the hell is staying inside a stadium after the game to have a pint of beer? I don't know. You just go to the pub instead. But
the state of Selhurst Park though was kind of appalling. Like I will be honest, like the paint just chipping everywhere. Like I'm really ragging on Crystal Palace. I don't know why. They were very hospitable. I had a decent time. They played Arsenal in that match. It was a good match. But let's move on.
How many have we got any spots left in the danger zone or the relegated zone?
Relegated, we're done.
15, 16,
Danger, we're done.
No, yeah.
This is like the inclusive counting where I get confused. We got 11, 12, 13, 14. So we got one more spot for mid. We got two more spots for in the hunt, it looks like.
Okay, so in that case,
Champions League, one spot.
You're probably going to disagree with me on this because I think this is another one that you've gone to, Craven Cottage, but I'm going to pick Fulham. And I would like to put them lower than this, but I'll have to reluctantly stick them in the mid zone.
I don't think their badge is great. I actually agree with this.
Okay.
I think they could be danger zone too. It's iconic in a way, right? Because it's just such an old storied club.
It's iconic because it's just such a crap badge.
I don't know what it's doing. It's like you can see FFC, but it's tilted on the sides. Then is it arrows? What?
Oh my God, yeah. I read someone comment this and said like a while back, I think they were convinced for about 10 years that the Fulham badge was just a load of arrows. And it like blew their mind that someone told them, no, it's FFC on a slant. So I wonder how many people are out there in the world. Reveal yourselves if you think the Fulham badge is a load of arrows, because it's not.
Yeah.
Maybe it would be better if it was a load of arrows, but yeah, no, it's shit.
It's just, it's simplistic, and I don't think they ever have to change though. Like the way it is should always, it's shit, but it should always be shit, and it's Fulham's badge. I wouldn't like Fulham to change the badge. I do think that in an alternative world, they could have done something really cool with the cottage in their badge though.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
100%. They should have been more Crystal Palace, but instead they're Fulham.
They could be like called like the Cottagers or something. I don't know.
sounds like they're all turning into a load of cheese.
The cottage cheese, yeah. All right, moving on. Chelsea's badge, because I do like Chelsea's badge personally. I think it's iconic. Take away some of their success they've had, albeit like, they haven't been real consistent. Another American owner who's kind of led them in a strange direction. But I do like the colors. I do like the lion. I mean, there's a prestige about it, but you got to take away the club's success, breaking it down. We're looking at, with everything left with Newcastle and Sheffield, I think I put it in Champions League. I think you just have to for now. Now we can revisit it at the end, but I'd put it in Champions League.
This might be one we have to revisit. I don't disagree with you. It is an iconic badge. I liked how diplomatic you were there, where you said the American owner is doing something strange with the club.
Yes, it's the best. It's strange. I don't know how else to put it. Yeah.
It's all gone to shit.
Some of the signings I like, I don't think they've panned out yet. I feel bad for like Graham Potter personally. I think he was put in a weird situation. He had a great spot in Brighton, and yeah, I don't know. He just kind of almost run himself out of football. Like I don't know where he's going to go now. And who knows what he's doing.
No, I agree. I actually feel quite sorry for Chelsea fans. I mean, they've probably spent the most money, one of the most amounts of money in the Premiership, and what on earth is going on?
There's flashes of brilliance with their team. They're just inconsistent. I mean, because Sato, Enzo, Mudryk, like some of these signings on an individual level, they have skill, but I just don't know if they're Premier League ready right now. And coach is coming through. That hasn't made it easier. I think Pochettino is a really good coach to be there at the right time. I do think like Pochettino, Arteta, and like guys like that, just kind of almost like father-like figures. It's what Chelsea needs right now. So
yeah, 100%. It's funny you say that. I've always said I would love Ange Postecoglou to be like my second dad.
Yeah. There's just dad figures like that. I think Klopp's kind of a dad figure too. I don't think Pep is. He just kind of rubs me the wrong way sometimes. But
I think he'd be too strict a dad. Like you'd never be able to go out. You'd always be doing your bloody homework.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And then if you're not,
Klopp as a dad, you'd be out partying every night. You probably wouldn't make it home after night 5.
Klopp just cracks me up because he's so open to about like he's a football coach now, but he always says like when I'm done with coaching football, I'm never going to watch football again. Like it's like what? He'll make comments like that. Like I'm done. I'm gonna like just disappear with my wife and like live somewhere else and never think about football ever again. It's like he's a strange guy kind of, but I like him.
Yeah, 100%. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, what have we got left then? We've got 2 spots left.
Sheffield
Are they both
and Newcastle? Oh, yeah.
Do they both have to go in the hunt?
They do. Yeah, well, that's anticlimactic.
It is. You see, I probably would have put Sheffield United in the Champions League if there was a spot there for them. Again, why? I don't know what it is. I think I just automatically, for some reason, I've just realised I really like a football badge to have a set of tools crossing over in the badge, like West Ham, Sheffield United. Technically, a blade isn't a tool, but same kind of thing. You could cut a lot of stuff with it.
It doesn't look like a classic like English sword though. It's almost like an Arabian sword. I don't think it really fits the bill. I don't know. I'm just thinking into it too much.
Yeah, I think you're just let them have it. It's clearly a blade. You could do some damage with that blade.
Is that a football at the top?
Yeah. No, it's yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm too blind. I think it is. I've forgotten from my memory. I think it is a football.
1889. They have an old ground too. Yeah, independent of the badge. So we'll put them in the hunt, and then I'll do Newcastle real quick, and then for the exciting part where we can like kind of move around the teams. So Newcastle, there's just too much going on in this badge, and I hate the shade of blue at the bottom. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that because the Newcastle fans are everywhere. They're like all over the place.
Newcastle fan base is one of the best in the Premiership, in my opinion.
I'm not saying they're not, but maybe they should.
Based on the badge.
Maybe they should demand some changes to their badge, although the badge is what it's iconic to in a way. I understand that. I don't know what the flag at the top is. Is that like Newcastle City flag? Is that something that's in the UK? Like, do you guys have city flags or no?
Not really.
Interesting, because
we have things that symbolize the city, and like we have, so like Devon has a flag, which is just kind of really basic, and it's green, so we all know which team in Devon is the biggest team in Devon on that basis. Cornwall has a flag, so I guess like counties have their own kind of thing, but cities, I've never stayed in a big city long enough to actually realize if it has its own flag, to be honest. But I don't know. I think that's a bit harsh though. I like the Newcastle badge.
It looks better with this backdrop now of like gray.
Yeah, when it's on a shirt, I think it's actually quite nice.
Yeah, depending on like the backdrop of the shirt and how it looks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the hunt's probably a little rough. I still I think in hunt is exactly where it would be.
It's probably fair.
Yeah. All right, the 3. We get to change the 3 now. We're winding down on this episode. So once again, to rehash the rules, get to look at the entire 1 through 20, decide which 3 we're going to move around, either up or down, depending on EFL's girls' choices. And then she gets to do the same thing, and she can actually overturn any of my decisions just because she's the guest. Maybe for the next episode, we'll change it. So then I get to overturn yours.
You can't change the rules.
For the MLS episode. Maybe that's fair.
Okay, that's very fair.
Okay. I want to be honest. I think I put Everton in the Europa League, but I'm going to move Everton, and I'm going to swap Everton with Aston Villa, which you're not going to like. It's maybe a little
this
aggressive.
This might be overruled.
Aston Villa Europa League. I love the colors. I love the badge. I love the 1 star representing the lone Champions League title. All right, moving on. That's 1. The second one, Manchester City. I look at City. I love the colors. I love the ship. I love the Lancashire Rose. I like paying homage to this year the city, the club was founded. I'm actually going to replace West Ham United and Man City. That's really aggressive, but
wow.
I don't like West Ham United. I guess I have to stick to the badge. There's just something. I've been to their stadium, and I did not like London Stadium. It's my least favorite stadium in the UK I've been to.
Yeah, I don't disagree on that. The old West Ham Stadium was incredible when it was actually in West Ham and not in where is it now? Stratford. But
yeah, next to a massive shopping mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The Hollister logo is throwing me off now because I was going to move I'm not going to move him now. It's funny because a lot of the decisions I made, I'm questioning, like Arsenal. I'm looking at Arsenal and wondering, should we move them? I think this is hard. I think the Champions League is set. I know you don't like Tottenham, but I think it's unique, despite it being kind of skinny. It is kind of weird, but I'm going to replace. This is hard. I want to piss some people off. We really had no choice.
I can still undo these, remember?
Yeah, I'm replacing Newcastle with Tottenham.
Oh my gosh.
That's a brash move.
Yeah,
it's kind of
you're gonna have
you have to almost I think some of the badges with these replacing too get screwed because they just drop. It's almost like how Everton just now is in the relegation zone all of a sudden because of some Premier League ruling. I don't know if you heard about that, but they had 10 points deducted from them.
Deducted points. Although they're still not bottom of the league, are they? Which is quite funny.
Yeah, but it's like what we're doing right now in a way. We're just deducting points out of nowhere. Your turn.
Okay. On that basis, Man City probably both deserve to be deducted some points, and they do not deserve to be in the Champions League. I'm sorry. I'm going to do something really controversial here, and I would swap Man United with Man City.
Wow. Now you like the Man United badge, so I'm not surprised by that move.
Purely on the badge. I actually prefer Man City to Man United. They're technically my local club, but yeah.
So on a footballing basis, you prefer City over United as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Apart from Scott McTominay, I like him as a player, but you can't like a club based on one player, so...
Yeah. I like their setup too with the academy next to the stadium. It's kind of cool. And they've done a lot from what I hear in Manchester in different ways. But yeah. Okay, that's 1. 2 more.
2 more. This is tough, I'm probably going to end up undoing a lot of what you've done.
That's all right. You can.
I would swap Everton with Newcastle.
Okay.
No. Hang on. Take that back. I've just spotted the badge that's next to Everton.
You know what's interesting about this compared to League 2, League 1? I think you have a lot more of a respect with all of these badges. So it's I almost feel
You can't
bad.
look at them in isolation.
It's hard. It's really tough. And for anyone who's like thinks we're idiots or like this is just strange, like watching this, it's like you try to do this. This is a hard exercise. This isn't easy.
This is the hardest league so far.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gonna leave Everton where they are. Don't worry, Toffees, you're okay. And I'm gonna do the Geordies a favour, and I'm gonna swap Newcastle with Fulham, because I do not know what Fulham is doing in the mid-tier. Deserves to be relegated, if anything.
Well, Fulham's hanging on. They're living another day. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. I think to Newcastle, like respect them a little bit more than Danger Zone. It's kind of disrespectful. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good badge. I'm trying to be fair here, so I don't undo absolutely everything that you've done.
This is just so interesting to me how Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man United, like 3 massive clubs, are in the Champions League on badge level too. It's like, are we totally really looking at it from a badge perspective, or is there some bias as well?
There probably is a certain amount of bias, but even as you've just said that, I was thinking my final swap would be to put Sheffield United in the Champions League and Chelsea in the hunt.
Oh, that's fine. All right.
I just really like the badge. Sports.
Well, there we have it. So this is interesting. If this actually was the table, I wonder if
the bottom isn't actually that far off, is it?
The bottom's not that far off.
Relegation zone, anyway.
Yeah, if you take Forest out of there and take Sheffield out of there and Aston Villa kind of move around, it's really, historically speaking, it's not that far off either. Some teams would kind of go up and down. But here we are, guys. This is the final standings for this Premier League crest ranking. Comment below what you guys think. Right? I don't know. This is where we're at. I would still change some things, but that's the beauty of it. So, EFL Girl, thanks for hanging out here and looking at these badges with me.
No problem.
Cool. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next episode. Hit like, subscribe, because in the next one, we're going to be going across the Atlantic to the United States, and we'll be ranking the MLS badges, which I'm really excited about. Strange setup there because there are way too many teams. I think there's 29 teams, which is an odd number. And we'll be doing a similar exercise with relegation in American soccer. So we're going to introduce some relegation as well. See you guys in the next episode. Take care, everyone.